were you born?
1923 maybe.
Oh no, go back. I want to go back to, first of all, who were your parents? What were their names?
John.
My mother was named Maria, and she was from Onishchuk's family. Her was maiden name Onishchuk. So my mother, she have 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So one brother was closer to us. He was the Yaakov.
Jack.
Yak. Here in English they don't use that
Yeah.
yak. Щось попом
The same.
singing with the minister.
Oh, I get it. I know what
You
that is.
know?
Yeah.
But
Like in the Jewish have a
Oh,
cantor.
Well, yeah. So I have 2 uncles that was educated in Chernivtsi with high education. They was a church people. And all the sister of my mother, there was Aksiniya, the oldest one, and then there was Aneta, and then there was Damka, and then my mother was a Maria.
so there was 4.
Yeah. So my mother was married when she was 16 because my grandfather only was, because grandmother died young and left 6 kids at home. Anyways, that's my aunts. They all was older than my mom, and one brother was closer to us, and we was really on a good family term all together. And as my father was born on a Selo Zeleniu, and he got there was 4 boys and 1 girl on my father's side. There was Tanasco, there was Metro, there was Yuan, which was my tato, and there was Mikhailo, what was on a family, was left on a family, my grandpa home. So we was all close family. They used to come in to us, and they was always talk very loudly when they come together, all uncles of mine. And they have a very good time together, and well, that's what I remember. And then until my father passed away, 1923. And I was left like a girl, 13-year-old, and my sister was older, 10 year, and my brother was between us. So we have to do our living alone. My sister, she was a skirts maker. She was really that has her talent. So she was doing winter time that job, and summertime we have to work on a field to get something for a winter to keep us going. My brother Peter, he was really interesting and things to do with his hands. So he went to the Romania, to this family of ours that was my auntie brothers that has a big in Romania. And they was needed a lot of this handymans, and he was doing that handyman, and nighttime he was going to the place that they learned the fancy thing to work by hands.
Wooden stuff, craft stuff.
Craft, yeah. So he got experience in that for so many years. Then I was mostly home because I was the youngest and I was still young to go on other jobs, but I was doing at home. I was keeping the all livestock fed at home.
What time did you have to get up? I was wondering what a day would be like. What would a normal day be like on the farm?
Just like every day, you get up in the morning and you then go to eat. You go and fix your animal, what they have to get. You get something for the chickens, and they got another thing for the pigs. We used to keep 2-3 mothers that bring it lots of kids.
Chicken.
Pigs.
Right. Big
You know?
sows. You had some.
Yeah, how you call it.
sows, yeah.
Yeah, and we have a cow, and we have it. How you call it?
Lamb,
One
sheep.
calf, one
Cow,
or two
sorry, yeah.
calf, and I was looking after that before I go to school in the morning. Then I fed my chicken and cow and pigs and geese we have, and even ducks we have. And I feed all that, and then I dress up and I go to school because my mother and my sister, it's the summertime. And if my brother's home, they go on a field to do the
Work.
So harvesting or whatever.
well, until you harvest, you have to prepare that be something to harvest. You have to work to clean them to sapati, the more you clean chesto,
Thrash it.
robamo, on a field would have to be done to potatoes, to corn, to these two things was taken the most of the time because you have to go 3-4 times, clean it and put a lot like around potatoes you put high with the soil because there is a potatoes under supposed to be developed. So we do that all day. Then we come home at night, and then when they come home from the field, I already fed my chickens and my pigs and the dogs and whatever livestock around the house, and milked the cow, and I prepared some for supper. But Mama used to come a little bit earlier home because she know what to get for supper. I was too young still to do it, to think myself that I could do it. Well, then we keep it that for 8 years after my daddy died.
He died in 1923.
23, yeah.
And this is in Zelenyo, in the house that I was in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when my daddy died, then we still carrying the way we was carrying the way we was carrying even when Daddy was alive. But we still have a hope that Daddy still ahead of the home. Anyways, when we left, then everybody was already growing up. Then my mother, my sister first,
Yeah, when did Kitka leave?
she wanted to 1928. She really have a correspondence with this John Lacusta from Staniuti, and he want her to come to Canada. So, but she went she wanted to go to Canada for a long time. She have in her mind, but she wasn't really wanted to go. That somebody taken her. She went on her own to our uncle in Winnipeg. There was Stefan Pashishniak, and she stayed there for a week when she came to Winnipeg, to Canada. And then she let this Mr. Lacosta to know that she's already in Canada. So he sent her a ticket, and he brought her to Eureka Falls. And there was on a month, March 1928. Brought her to Eureka Falls, and then about 3 weeks after, they was married the same year. They was married 26th of May.
In March in 1928.
28. Then she was lonely, maybe for family, and she started to write home that she wanted to take me or my brother, who would willing to go, but she was aiming for Peter.
Right.
Well, anyways, Peter says
Peter was the older one. Peter's
he
older
was
than,
7 years older than me.
and Kitka's how?
Kitka
The oldest.
was nearly 11 years older.
Okay,
than
right.
They was, Anyways, Peter said, I
He won't go.
already was away from home to that job that he got, training and job, in Romania.
You had mentioned about him being in the army. Was that the time, or had he still? You had
that's
been telling
after,
after he had been, okay.
Yeah. Well, this is I left it.
Well,
Well, anyways,
Yeah.
so he said, I gonna stay home. Let Stefania go.
I'm glad he made that decision.
And
you don't want that.
or I get married, he said, and then I go. And my mother says, no, Peter, if you get married, you stay home. If you wanted to go unmarried, that would be right. But to get married, leave the young woman home and go away, you don't know for how long, that's not right. So he listened. He listened to mom. And then I got papers. I didn't know that they sent it 3 times to Ottawa to change it from Peter's name to mine. And then we could have to have a place for me to get me from all country that time. So he got a little money, Wico Lacosta, and he got the house on his own, and he got the spare room. There was 2-bedroom house in Eureka Falls. And they allow him to bring me. So I came 1929 on the 30th of July.
Did you land? Wait, how did you land in Halifax like Dad did, or?
Well, I was going by boat,
Okay.
and I landed in Quebec
In Quebec City, or?
City.
Okay.
And then from Quebec, we take a train. There was from Bukovina that time. There was 5 girls that we was keeping company on a boat, and they keep us kind of together. So they put us from Montreal. Those girls, they have relatives in Montreal. They have one of them have a father, the other have a brother, and when they hear that, they lock us all up on a boxcar to not get out.
Not in a box.
Well, on the car.
In the car,
On
right? Yeah.
I would say not boxcar.
They wanted to make sure
Newspaper.
they heard about somebody else jumping train before.
They
They
locked
didn't
us
want to.
in because this one girl, Patya, her name was, she was talking Ukrainian, and they put one woman to our bunch
To watch
with
them.
us, you know.
Right.
And Tapasia, she was like a policeman. She was tall and husky, you know. And she says, "What did she here for?" She says, "You know what? We get her, we get together, and just open the window and threw her out." You know, there was, and she knows what she was talking about. Then she left us, but they locked us up all together. Anyways, we was going to lock up to Porkish Junction. You know where the Porkish
Yeah, I know
Junction?
Porkish.
Yeah. And then they went to Winnipeg, all the 5 of them, and my sister and my brother-in-law come to get me from Porkish Junction. So I remember when I meet them, and my mother, she was telling me, I was around 20 anyways, she says, you have to respect your badika, you know, because
Brother-in-law.
that's a brother-in-law, because he put money and all that problem to get you there. So when I meet them, and I have a big bag with something I brought it from home, like a couple of big pillows and some skirts, and I bent to kiss his hands,
Try to
my
kiss.
brother-in-law. And he was so ashamed of that he just covered it up and says, never do that.
It's my Waco.
Your week, yeah. And anyways, they brought me home. And one time before, at home, when I was knowing that I have to go to Canada, I have a dream. I have a dream that I'm going to be in my sister's house, and the way I dream, the color, everything, the blue kind of background, the rug and the walls and everything else, you know. When I look, that was just like was in my song, and I tell him that. Well, then I stay with the Wiko and Kitka for a month or so, and then Wiko know some people on Yurkofal that they look for a girl. They needed a girl, so
Foreman.
they introduced me, but I didn't know a word English. Oh, I was going to night school for that month that I was there, but I didn't learn for a month nothing. So then, when I went to work, I can go to school because sometimes they go out and I have to be there with the old mother of hers, you know, like this people that I was working.
Johnson.
Then their name was Johnson. And I was working there for about 3-4 months, and then that old lady died. She was she was very old, and she was a little bit mental, and she was just the bone. I never see the person as skinny as she was. But when she was in bed, she was swearing, and she was mentally ill. And sometime when they was lifting her home, she tried to get out, and she fell down and was tumbling on the steps. And there was tall steps in those houses that there was company made. And Yurko Falls, you know, those big houses that was there. Anyways, then I came home, and one lady come in. Her name was Kshanowska, a Ukrainian lady. We was good friends. She was visiting Kitka and Wiko, and said I was in Kirken Lake to visit my friend, And there the woman was begging me, if I know anybody in all country species that come from all country, that she wanted somebody
Some job.
to work for her, because she get the baby and she's ready.
To have another one.
Well, yeah. And they phone us to Wico, and I was ready to go. And they was talking Russian. That was much easier for me. These people, by the Barański, вони се називали. And I like it. I like the job, and there was not very hard job, because just to keep the house clean and look after the baby, for me that was easy. Anyway, she liked me that I was, when I was do the washing, that was nice and clean, and she was really bragging to her sister, because her sister was Kaplan, and they have they was rich in Kirkland Lake. They was owned the show, you know,
That was Jewish.
Jewish people. Anyways, I worked in there for half a year. She have another baby, and I still was looking after, but I hear that somebody pay more a month than I make it, and I still was owe my brother-in-law, Mr. Lacusta. I was still owe some money, because I just got $20 a month, and eating there and sleeping there, and $20, and I hear some people make $30 a month. So I went for this boarding house first. I went, the name our people, Ukrainian, was owned the boarding house by name Markovsky. And they offered me $30 a month. But there was job that never ends. To 11 o'clock at night, you had to work, and you have to get up 4 o'clock in the morning to feed these miners that they come home 4 o'clock in the morning. And you prepare them breakfast, 4 o'clock in the morning. So when they coming home, I have to get the breakfast on the table. And one time happened to me that I was doing the dishes and that, and when I was washing the dishes, when I have to put some soap to the water, I put some corn flakes. There was the same kind of box. Anyways, I worked there. I can't remember exactly how many months I was working there. And yeah, and then I have a girlfriend that she was from Yurko Falls. We came the same week to Canada. She came to her sister, and I came to my sister, and she came to Kirkland Lake, and I find job for her, and she was working in this place that they was even from Bukovina, these people, and I meet them before, and we come in to be friends, and then her sister got really sick, and she want her back to her to Yurko Falls, to her home, and they left without the girl. And Romaniuk says, Stephanie, if you take this job over, I'm gonna pay you 30, the way you make it in a boarding house. And there you didn't have to work that many hours anyways. So I went to Mr. Mrs. Ramanyuk, and I worked there for a whole year until I got letter from Kitka that she sent me the letter from Montreal. And she said, here is the letter from Montreal, and they wanted your address. And that was a little picture in that letter or not? Maybe not.
Was.
Yeah. Then I see that picture and the letter and all that, so I write the letter back. So that was the time that we start to write
You answered me the letter
to
on my letter.
there and back to Montreal. So that was happening right after Christmas. We start to write to each other.
Christmas what year?
1930,
32.
30.
30?
30, 32?
32.
32.
Yeah, I think so. So then that your father said that he maybe on Easter he be able to come to see us from Montreal, you know. And all right, we write to each other a little bit, and then he said, well, my boss said that would be too busy time. So that was happening that way.
You went to Montreal.
He sent me a ticket, and
First time?
I don't wanted to go to Montreal because I didn't know the guy. But Vuiko says, I know that family, and if you go later on, you would want it to go back to our country, then you be just as good on one village or the other, because that's not far to Staniuti, you know, from
20, 30 kilometers? or
from
how?
Zeleniu, yeah. So, and then, yeah, one day, I think it was 26th of March. 26th of March, there was some friends of ours, even he, and later he was your bike, Kautsinyuk and Kautsinyuchka. They came to get me out to train, like, you know.
To Montreal.
And Kitka and Vuiko and the neighbors there was a couple, Mike and Kasia.
Live on the Vuiko
I forget the second name. Anyways, about 8 of us came to the train, and the snow that was in March, that was that high that when you go on a road you couldn't see you know, over, because that was higher than a man.
Yeah, we're talking about in Iroquois Falls?
And Yurka Falls. Yeah, that much was snow. Well, I go in, took the train, and we go to Montreal. And in night time, somebody came and asked me who I was in the train and how far I go. And I told him, so he didn't say anything, you know. Then come closer to Montreal, and my heart was beating. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. Anyways, came to Montreal, to this station, come over the train, and I get my valise and I go to the place where you can sit down, you know. And I see some bunch of people, and one of them a little bit on the side, and I thought, that must be that. So big eyes, keep cutting, and thin like a toothpick. And I, you know, notice, and I just go to the waiting room. I I sitting down, and I see that's the same guy I thought there was coming approaching me. And
Speak English?
yeah, he come to me and he asked me who I was. And I said it, and he says, well, I'm that Nikolai that I was writing to you. And what you did?
I says, then, here, we better already go to the car, take taxi. But Mama says, well, just a minute, I got baggage. She got big trunk, you know, with all the thing.
The thing that I already for
Yeah.
2 years collected wherever, buy something, and I
Well,
got the
wait.
trunk, and I got the
They
trunk.
brought it the trunk, they put it in the car in the back, and I got the room,
Who was with you at the station then?
Nobody.
Just you?
just me.
Okay.
I come and I speak in English. She don't speak that. So Mama hardly was speak English that time because she was working in our people
Right.
in Kilkeel. And then we're talking, and here we take taxi, and I got already a room in Jewish place was the old two people. And that was in Jewish Pascha, you know, the Easter. Not supposed to be any bread in that house. But I used to bring, and I have to hide it to not, you know, because that's against them rule, to not have any Jews.
Well, anyway, so we're dating for the month, I think, right? About
for
month.
short time.
Yeah. And he was taking me to a restaurant for the meal when he out to work. And then, well, we talked one way and the other, and when we decided maybe we should get married. But Dad's brother, John, was there. And
He was afraid that where's two, that come three after.
there was
He
bad
figured,
time.
how about the
There
Jew?
was hard. Anyways,
All kind trade.
he was talking him out of it, and he come and tell me all that.
Dad did.
Dad, yeah. But anyways, he didn't come to the place that we're supposed to meet, and he come himself, and he says, we go to the city hall to get marriage license. That time, you know, for some reason they was doing that. Then we go and I don't know where the John was waiting.
John
Anyway,
was-
John came with
No,
us.
with us.
He came with us to the city hall, and we have a marriage license. And he was smiling. He says, "Well, that wasn't my wishes, but as long as you agree together, then I for it."
We're happy.
Then yeah.
He says he
Yeah.
can get already.
Oh yeah, he allow us to already sleep together because we have a license.
Oh, what? We're getting on tape here.
Yeah, and I
Oh, well,
think-
hold it. You were living in different apartments?
Oh yeah.
But was it in the same house?
No,
No. That's
no,
one I
no.
Was
was
it nearby?
no, that wasn't
Well,
that
not very
close.
far.
We not
But now
doing
that you had
the
a
things.
license, he said you could sleep together.
That's what he said. Yeah. Well, then we decided to have a little
Because we
wedding.
already found a place for her.
There was Maria.
Another place.
Right.
And a wedding, there was 1932, and there was 21st of May, we decided to get married.
Okay,
And
when you got the thing at the city hall,
Yeah.
that was the legal marriage. That
Legal,
was,
yeah.
That was a, you were,
yeah,
you legal married before May 21st.
Then we go to the
No,
judge.
that's not a marriage.
It's just
That's
a-
just post-will, just okay it.
Okay, right. Okay, you needed that to go to
To
have
go
a
to
church
the
ceremony.
church, yeah. So we get that, and we get already a couple of friends that they was in Montreal that I know them from home, like Sakari. I know Sakari, and I don't know Maria, but that's a next village from us. I hear from for her family for a long time, because they.
So they are.
They like run away to Canada and left the children, and there was talk. You know, there is all over was people talking, you know, like her parents. The kids was all left behind, alone, in a little house close to Brusnesa, to that water that, and there was no field that they could,
Well,
you know, live out of it. So the kids, people taking like to feed and work for that, and anyways, that only Maria and Andrei never been to our wedding. Andrei, no, because
he
they have a
keeps
store. They have a store, and that was Saturday, and he had to keep it open. Yeah, she was there, and there was a couple of cousins
Of Maria.
of
We
Maria, and your cousin was.
Yeah.
Well, that's on a picture there.
Okay.
That the wedding was that big.
My cousin, there
This-
was,
the celebration was in whose apartment?
Saturday in May.
Okay.
that's what
We
Well,
already
well,
no. That
Saturday.
wasn't the place that Dad find it to stay with me. We together find another place. It German people, and that's where we get
before
we get
when
married.
We get married.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
we'll be living there.
That was
but
the
she
first
was
place they
alone.
lived
And then we lived together in that apartment after the
There was
wedding.
very nice people, Mama Susanna.
These people was they didn't have no kids, no family, but was his brother with the wife and the girl
and a
that they
butcher
have.
shop.
So we get married in that Saturday, 19.
33.
32, 21st of May,
32?
32,
32,
Okay, right.
Yeah.
May the
21st.
21st,
Right, May 32.
on the Victoria Day.
Yeah.
Right.
Then we lived there in that little
So you have a,
apartment together for a while, and Dad was working at the
vacation.
baker shop, and I was out to work for maybe a week or so, maybe two. And then where my sister-in-law was working, she was changed the place, and they needed on her place another girl, because that time you never could get
Canada.
the.
Where John's wife
Yes.
was working at
Yeah.
Essex Packers.
Canada.
And she decided to change it to another
Yeah.
one, and she says, if you go there early in the morning, you can get that job.
Right.
And I went there, and they gave me a job. So I was working there for 21 cents an hour. But the hours was short, because there wasn't much business for a meat, because there was no money, nobody has the money. So I was working there for a year. And that work. And Dad, after that, he left his work, his job, and went to look for a place somewhere to open on his own. Anyways, he was traveling. I was working still in that factory, and from time to time, we was writing to each other, and he was beating the train somewhere, wherever. I even remember that I sent him little money envelope because I says, well, whatever would be to not get hungry. You didn't have money there nowhere.
I took the money with me.
Well, you took
The
some.
pocket.
I don't know that you have. Anyways,
I always took care.
after that, what was after that? He
got
he
job
got
with us.
to the he got up to Yurko Falls.
This was after the mining job.
The
Remember
mining
you went,
job,
You went
yeah,
on a mining
yeah.
job was no good or something.
That
Well,
was
there
that was liars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he said about that
So
money.
after that, you went to
Yeah.
Yurko Falls.
We went to Yurko Falls, and because he
I
got
drove
the
to
job,
Sokolov.
Oh, okay.
he got
So-
the job
so-
in Yurko Falls at the baker shop.
So did Daddy
and
come
he's-
back to Montreal or
No,
he just called you?
no.
No,
He sent me the letter that I already had a job, quit yours and come down, and
Because
we're
that's
going to
what
make
was
it
the-
home here, where Wiko and Kitka was, and that.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, it was a good idea.
But something
Then
got
what-
screwed up.
I left the job, everybody warning me. He says, now, this time you leave the job, where you get another one? Well, anyways, I left it. I trust him. He's got the job.
so I was.
And I thought I'm going to do something too there, and that's how we're going to live. Well, when I come to Yurko Falls, and that says he got fired. He didn't have a
Not
job.
fired yet. Just quit because
Quit. He didn't have a job.
he tried to. He must have some more in the paper, and some Yugoslavian fellow come down and going to work for $9, and I won 17. I says at least to pay me what I have in Montreal.
Yeah, all
I
right.
would
I
take the
think
job.
you already was saying this
And
thing.
he says, "Okay, you're gonna pay."
And then what we gonna do?
No, we got that one, Dad. That's
That
right.
one
We
you
got
already
it.
said. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do. Kitka and Wiko says, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna go picking blueberry." So we went 1 day or 2 days picking some blueberry, bring it in, and we're gonna look for something. We have to look for something.
So found that store.
And we find that Barelo store was empty and for rent. And we get that corner store for $12 a month.
I
And
was figured that's
we was
Good.
gonna planning to open the baker shop there. So that's how we get
higher.
in touch with the people that could supply us everything what we needed to that corner. There was Marsha and Wiko was there, that they know him. They depend on Wiko, that have to be, because we take it everything
So much on credit.
on credit. And
Lumberman.
yeah. Anyways, we succeed in that, and we built. We cleaned that place nice, and we, because there was 2 rooms in the back, we cleaned it and decorated for us too. And up front there was big room. So we built the oven. We built the oven, and we started to make just the pies and rogalki, the like horseshoe,
Special rye bread.
and donuts. And people wanted that, but nobody has the money to pay. Lots of people without the job. Well, we started a little bit, and everybody says, boy, that's so good that you should try everything else. So that did it. Start to make it bread and rye bread and kolachi and payi, and we together working pretty good until Peter came.
1937.
35.
35, yeah. So we work already at the Barelos place. and then
Then we
Peter
got
come,
already money
and little bit.
for that
For that
couple of years.
28 months we was at Varela's place, we saved about around $2,000 that time,
That
business.
money.
Then we wanted something on our
Oh.
own. So the next door there was a old home that was
Fall apart nearly.
fall apart, but to rent it, no good, because if we wanted to start it something on our own, we have to
They
get.
don't gonna even rent it.
We
they
not
have to.
we not was thinking to renting because
That was already belonged to the city for
to
the
the
tax.
city, yeah.
So they told me the price, but they says they don't have to pay how much that's worth. What that's worth it for you. I says, so we could says, give $100. I says, $100. When he heard $100, he was agree. He says he don't have to pay how much taxes, just what is worth it for you, because he says that's nearly
Well, the
fall
owner
apart.
wasn't around anymore and anything else.
So slowly, Barney was there counseling, and he get up. He says, "You can't sell to him. He don't want me to be there because his business. He can't sell much bread in the store. He was just across the road." He says that was offer. The same guy where we live in his place. He wanna just buy that lot. You don't want that building. He will tear it. He says that you see him that was last year yet. This fellow was last week. He's today. He offered $100, and the other fellow was just for $50. Want to get that ground, that's all. He's the buyer. Okay. Then I figured, now I have to put a good lot of money to repair that building. And there was lots of people looking for a job. And they were so glad because they can get so much from this baker shop, bread and buns and oil, and the rest some cash. So that helped each other. So slowly they made it from that building to the people after come in says, "Gee, that's just like at the church. Everything's so nice. I got good carpenters and plaster men and all that." So we start to live, and then we have even one room for us to sleep in the same baker shop, because we bought the other house, but we have to pay $600 for the same building nearly, because the guy still Dawson was on the back. He has his home, but
With that stretching.
then
so
the French fellow was a mayor in the town. He not gonna say leave it any last, because if they leave it last, he can come back and take that back property. He says $600. So I put it offer. So I put it on a wicked name. You know why? I was figuring, if he knew Dawson, that's for me, then he will pay even $600, and then he can ask me anything. So wasn't not that kind man. He I paid more money and put on his name. He says, "How about if I die? And that still be under my name?" I said, "Don't worry about that. I'm not worried about it." So, year passed. Dawson don't ask for it, because that belonged to some man he didn't know he was any related, Lacusta and Gaudon. Then they say, "Oh, everything's okay, pass off, that's your property." For that $600. Soon I hear that, Then I start to show that I'm the boss.
Was this an empty lot or
It was a house,
It was a house.
too.
But there was
Fall
next door to
apart.
these
The
people,
same thing.
there was next door to the people that we rented, that we have already a baker shop for a couple of years.
okay?
You know, there was next door, this building that we,
Is that what became Imperial Bakery? Where
yeah, yeah,
that? Okay, so you were
Yeah.
living in a rented quarters,
yeah.
and what
And
you
then
bought
the next
was
door.
the building
Next
for the
door,
bakery. But,
yeah.
but was it a bake? What sort of building was
There
it?
was, that was old building,
Just-
because we remodeled to the baker shop, there wasn't no no
It was
business
more than a
place.
house. It was a business place before. it was
A
house.
business street, you would say,
Okay.
you
okay.
know?
But there
There
was
was business
private
street.
house before.
But there was a
Okay.
private,
But I made it.
yeah.
Made it more into
For
a store.
business.
Yeah, make it more to the store. And on this street there was all stores, grocer one, and then another grocer, and then all the business
Business
location.
street.
Location, yeah. So we decide to build the oven in our place, and Barello was very upset about that. He said he gonna hire the bakers, and he gonna keep the baker shop in his place. So we start to, when we already finish it at our place, the oven, and we
New
have to
one?
go to break it our oven there, you know. So we did break already the oven, and he don't like that, and
Nobody gonna come to that place because
he was so upset that he sent. We start to move because that's the next door. Everything from there to our place already, and he sent these people from city to stop it,
to not
to not let us move
the rest stuff.
the rest of the stuff. He stopped some things there.
I don't pay him the rent the last month for that.
And the rent I was paying, and there was people. Man, he was kind of bootlegger. This boss, this owner of the building that we built that baker shop in there, and there was some people come in there and drink. So I don't care, but we have to use it the bathroom and his quarter. So I have to pass it, and I see the fella. At the same time, I brought the rent, and I pay him the rent. And that man was he didn't know what he was talking about because he was an Englishman. So he gave us an accord, this that we didn't pay him 3 months rent. So we were so worried. We have to go in a court already. We have our own home, our own business, everything, and that was bother us so much. Then we went to the court, and a couple of days before, he got somebody with the horses, and he stole somebody's cutting wood in a bush. You know, he have some of his, and he stole somebody else, and that guy give him an accord, and they already know what is what. And when they open up, we didn't even know that. Open up all this, and they says, I pay him the rent. If you wanted to be sure, I bring you the man that he was there, that he see me pay him the last month of rent. And he says, no, that's not necessary. He says, I believe you. And then they really, everybody, Franzose there, everybody get up and hooray, because that was the case dismissed.
I don't pay a cent.
And even
Because I told him,
the,
if you stop all the stuff, he seals some stuff. That's with the last month rent. Not gonna pay. So that's when he was
well,
like,
I don't know if this all the
So
story
that's-
should be in there, but anyways, even the mayor of Eureka Falls come and shake hands and he says, I voted for you and I know you're right, and all the people was laughing out, the guys. His wife was English, but he was Russian, and he said to us, me and my wife gonna fix you for this. He don't like it that we move next door. Even
his
that
store,
his
he
plan
left.
was taking that place for himself. Well, when we went on our own, and we get for 13 years, we have a good business. We make it lots of good friends. Lots of Frenchers, they like it us so much because we have a French name or something, that they was our best friends. And
just like family was.
and when they come to
Everybody was
to
close.
the end that somebody offered us good money, what we wanted to sell it, then our customers was very disappointed. They don't wanted to lose us. Even that a Frenchman bought it, the place. So we went well comfortable out of the Eureka Falls to St. Catherine. And St.
Don't
Catherine,
like very much St. Catherine.
we bought a grocery store. We kept it for maybe half a year, and we don't like it because that time there was
Lots of
all the
credit, there was
lots. There was meat on the tokens. We can buy the meat if we then collect the tokens, and there was too much headache in that, so we decided to sell it. So we sold it in St. Catherine, and we bought the house just for a while in Mildred Street. We bought the house. We lived there how many years? Can we remember how many years? Maybe a couple of years.
Just a couple of years.
Yeah, maybe a couple of years. We lived there,
We buy the
40.
and then
46
we
to
looked
48.
for a business, something.
1946 to 48. We came to Hamilton in 48.
Well, that yeah.
In 47 we bought it in Hamilton
Right.
property, but it was still lease and a drugstore,
And we couldn't get in.
and the grocery man don't have no more lease. So soon there was a strike on the
Oh, you just
factory.
I wanted to say something.
No,
McKinnon.
McKinnon.
Yeah. See?
And then I says, now my chance, go remodeling, and I already have idea. I don't want to be no more. I'm gonna join to Red and White store, cash and carry. So that was the best way. We renewed everything. Boy, when those people, Kotzman was see the way that was going, this was yelling, crying upstairs. Why they supposed to buy, but it was figured it was too much because we paid $17,000 that time, and they were saying they could have it for $6,000, that time the property there. I says, for them was too dear, 17. For me, I know already, because we sold it for 14 in St. Catherine, and we bought it for 11. So for a couple of months, we made it $3,000. So, done it good. Now
Anyways, what we get in Hamilton, you would remember.
we have to sleep in the basement for a while.
We have to searching because At that time, there was 6 months notice. There was 6 months notice. If you want to move somebody, you have to give them half a year.
Because there was no.
And we was that how we was waiting
What? We done it.
to get
Stay in the
apartment.
basement for a while. Clean it nice. Whole
And
family.
we done lots to that building. We clean it out, cockroaches. And we remodel, and we, the neighbor used to say, this building never was looking as good as now. And sure, we stayed there for 4 years.
Yeah, and I think we'll do a little separate story on the grocery and remembering all that sort of stuff at some point. Because we've certainly done it on the bakery. We've done a little bit of Iroquois Falls and Ansonville, a little bit of St. Catherine.
On a grocery, there was a good business, there was clean business, and there wasn't as hard work as was on baker shop. And wasn't as long hours until we make it long hours, because at first we wanted to catch all the customers we could. And we was working the first to 10 o'clock at night and keep people coming, and they was we like it, the grocery, very very fair, and we learning more and more about it, and there was better way to manage and raise our boys. Then they start the school. One, and then another, and then another. So that was a little harder and harder on us, because they have to be in school, and when that was hard on them, because they have to come from school and take my place by the cash register, and I go and prepare the
Meal.
meals, and then call them that they go and have their meals, and we just was changing around to have everybody have their meals and go back wherever they belong. And that was going on long years until the youngest one, Ted, he still was going to high school.
Central.
When we bought the place on a mountain, the place that was a little bit on the side of the town, quiet, and not many neighbors was there yet, so we thought that would be a right place to relax when we come from store. And we kept it the store for many years until
1966. Close to that. It was just before Centennial Year, 67.
66.
Was
Yeah.
it 60? Maybe it was 67 even. Right on.
yeah, somewhere there.
Until truck chase us
And
out.
until Ted still was going to finishing the high school, I think.
No,
Oh,
McMaster.
yeah, Ted already went to McMaster. And he come from school, he was studying in his room, and we was already sleeping on ours. And then we have phone from Burlington Street that somebody break the window in our store.
I figure that's nothing. We get
And
insurance, we
Dad
get
says, well, Ted, you stay home. You still can study for a while. I go to Burlington. And Ted, he will refuse. He says, no, Dad, I go with you. So they sat in the car. They went there. And
And
they
I
see
come
the
in.
truck right at the end of the store.
Some broken window.
Even squash our
I just look, you
freezer
see,
there.
we get that picture. I look like this. I figure, kaput our store now. Everything mix up under those diesel truck. Now they carrying him out, and soon the spectator there, a big bunch of people from Harvester are ready to take care of their stuff, because they start with the lumber to put the blind
The plywood on the window.
the window. Yeah.
Even the lamps was the one was hanging round. There was already broken.
And somebody says, landlord here, landlord. And the people upstairs hear that because they were so shaken up. They thought there was an explosion. So they take the picture, and I stand like that. Mrs. whatever her name was already, she come in shaking like this.
Castro
Castro.
family was now
Castro.
upstairs, and she was laying on a little sofa. And
So that's
the
plywood,
same side there was television. And when this happened, her with the sofa and the television slide from one end to the other
From
of the
one
room,
to the other room, from front room to the
and shake them up like that. And she was really.
because they thought that's it.
And the other apartment, the Saracen was live there, and he
sleeping
didn't
on
hear
the
a thing.
Because
he was drunk. he didn't hear a thing. And this was,
that
that
was
was already. And then, wow, the insurance came, and they have to put some
John Flat was
piece of wood to lock up the store. But that night when it happened, a neighbor offered to stay in another store whole night to see that's nobody coming and looted the place, because there was all squatched in everything. So that was there, Noseworthy, or what his name was.
Yeah.
He offered to stay there and play cards
Oh, that-
and the laundromat.
That was nice.
Yeah, and they stayed to the morning watching. And then the people come in from insurance, and they kind of cover up the place. And then they ask us to, every little thing that was on the floor broken,
taking stuff.
every little thing, even when the can was squashed, they take the label out and put it together and see how many of them and all that.
Count the pieces.
So
I
we
says,
were
how can
doing
I
that
make
for a couple of days until we.
I was saying to Mr. Flat, how am I going to do it? How can I make it now if a jar of 2 pieces? He says, count 2 pieces,
The
not
leg.
1. You know? That's all we cover. Because they have some kind of place, the one going to come with a big truck. So a lot of cans were still not squashed, not damaged. And they just took it for hardly pay maybe anything. So that doesn't go to us. We just give it the number how much stuff was. They paid, and that was really good cover up. There was nothing, only the
business, we lost it. And then
Because-
nobody pay us for a business because what? Because we don't want it to go back to business. That's what it was. Yeah, we don't want it to go back to business. And then they remodel and we rented from that time the store.
so was leased
We
for
just was
somebody
keep
else.
it the laundromat going for a couple of years, and then even that
Up to
one,
70.
even that one we rented. And you know the rest. Oh, that's a big headache to talk about.
Okay,
I don't
but
like to talk about
but you did a
bad
good
things, no.
you did a good job. That covers a lot of time, a lot of things.
That's lots of things between.
Oh yeah, you can never
You
tell the
can
whole story.
never- Well, I could,
Well, it takes a long
but
time.
this is not important thing.
Assim,
Not important
like mama
to,
казала, що ви приходили в школу, мама біжить, make meal.
Right?
А ти ставав коло cash register, he was the most there.
Я Петро робив перед, а потім Штефан
Yeah. А
робив.
потім вже Тарас зо мною і Мерлан вже там доходила, вони мали ланч.
Я Мерлин на ланч приходила до штору. І там, і Депка. Депка прийде, сіде собі там, Мерлан собі прийде, бо хоче свіжого там м'яса, а я вже піду, щось треба коло м'яса, нема де се там просунути, because there's just so much space that was there. There wasn't my way. But you can chase them out, one or the other.
Hey, watch out! Marilyn's gonna be watching this.
Well,
Merlin was
yeah,
coming
Merlin
with
was-
dad from Central School.
Merlin already
For lunch.
was working on
Was with him.
Wentworth, off the Wentworth there somewhere, and that was close for her to come and
Ну,
get.
до школи ходила ще.
No, no. Вона до high school не ходила, вона мало що ходила.
Ходила.
Yeah, there was the time that was a lot of work. Wow, I didn't have that much space between for myself. I just was thinking of somebody in a store. We have to serve them. If something
That was
you are home,
much
we have to
easier
be
job what was in a baker shop. I was thinking I wasting my time. In the baker shops, they have to concentrate on everything to make perfect. Because if you make little mistake, you overdo, put more than you should, or under. That's not won't come out right.
Yeah, well, both of you agree. You both worked a lot harder in the bakery store. There was a lot more effort.
Oh,
Well,
more
that
muscles
time,
there.
listen, that time you all was small. And to raise 3 kids, you have idea today, some of the idea, but that wasn't all. And working every.
But they-
I was hurry to bath the baby, wash the diapers, put it on a line, and run to the baker shop because there have to be people come in for a bread, and Dad put the bread in the oven. You know, when he do that, he couldn't do this. And only me that was taking that chances to run to the house, do something would have to be really done, and run to the baker shop and do all the things there. That was,
It's a hard time for both of you. I mean, you worked, what, 6 days a week up there? Or what?
7 days a week. Right?
well, we
Even
later on we tried to, when you was a little bigger, to get you out of there and go out on Sunday. But there we didn't know, and baker shop we didn't go out for maybe after supper for a couple of hours. But the days that had to bake the bread for Monday, you know,
Every
you
day.
can't take it.
So
day
you
off.
worked every day.
Every day.
And how many hours would you think?
Oh, the
Started
hours we
early in
never
the
count
morning
the
and
hours.
finished 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And
Never
still
count
there
the
was
hours
not enough
that time.
bread in a baker shop.
Sometimes you have to get up 3 o'clock in the morning
the way
to
we
get
put
the
it-
bread ready for morning because people come in to get the bread and bread is not there. So you have to be ready.
That's why it was so good, because I put good price. I cut the price off. So all the bakers was really against me to get out from to be on a different prize.
Yeah, but we got that story, Dad. We got that whole starting the bakery story. So you're not
We just
gonna
talk about
you're not gonna
it.
get me again on that one. You'll have to give me some.
Something new.
Okay.
We just talk about the
Okay. No, but
vacation.
that's good. We've covered a good period of time. Well, one thing, we've got a little bit of tape left. I'm sort of interested in the old country. Both of you were giving some idea of what it was like in the old country and sort of getting up early in the morning, taking care of the animals, and there was sort of you sort of
Well, that's
worked
one
during
of-
the whole day.
That was first thing at home. My mother used to wake Yelena, Kitka Yelena, to go because she was the oldest from me and from the other twins, and the youngest sister was still, and all John and Peter was in America. She waking her up, poor Yelena was beat already, too much, taking care of us, because
She had a lot of responsibility. Yeah.
and then twins and the little baby girl.
Anyways, for a happier thing, we should talk. We worked every day. Everybody had their own responsibility. We work every day, but when Sunday come, we dress up in the best clothes, like Irish people. They sing about. I get up and I get my Sunday best. You know, we dress up nice, and some of us go to church, and the other make it ready, nice some Sunday dinner, and after dinner we all go dancing. We all
Sunday
go
was afternoon.
outside under the sun,
up to
the music and the people, and with all the small and the oldest and the youngest. They come all there, and there's a music
What, the
playing.
main street of town or something, or where would this around the church?
No, not around the
right
church.
on the
Where there was
Open ground.
past the
open ground, and there was that ground that was belong only to that. Not belong,
to
but
the
A
village.
sort of
to the
common
village.
ground.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah. And they all have a good time until the sun go down.
Sounds
Not
good.
to the hours. When sun go down, the music man goes home, and the girls with their boyfriends going home, and somewhere
That was
they
happy.
prepared the nice supper, because Sunday was supposed to be something better than every day, because every day there wasn't that much time to prepare. But on Sunday, Mama was making sure we have a something nice, special for supper. And yeah, young years, I wasn't care what gonna be for supper. Wherever Mama make it, there was, just like you said, where Mama make it, that was good for me. You know, we was very, very happy about that until Mama was able to do it. But when Mama was already older, Mama has a lots of problem with her health. And that time, that was the worst time in my memory, that me and my sister was going on a land to work, and we leave Mama sick on a beach.
Was your dad still around at this time?
No.
He had passed away in 23.
Yeah.
So this was
And we come home, and that's a big horat, Barna, we call it. We have to come from that side of the village, and when we come up, we see if the lights in our house yet or not, you know. And I go with Kitka and I says, well, if we, at least if Mama can get up and put the lights on, that would be much easier in our heart than to come home and she's still lying in on her bed, and she, the neighbor there was 8 kids there. Mama wasn't going working in that family, the next door. And she was coming in and fed my mama on a dinner time, bring her something hot, you know. And on a supper time, when I see that there's no lights in our house, we was happy, we were singing there. And when we come closer, and I was crying, I was wishing that Mama could get up of the bed and at least put the light in the house. And that wasn't very early at night. That's already, you know, the sun had to be already down when we leave the job because we work until the lights is on
the field.
on the field.
Sure.
And that's a long way to walk from there to home. And even we have a maybe cow or two with us that we kept it there all day, you know, to nibble something, and then we bring it with us home. And those days, I never could
You were the baby on the
forget
family.
or what.
Okay.
There was the times like that.
The
But
battery's
with the
stuck.
mama, when mama was there was everything so nice. Even when we were small, well, mama have to taken care, and mama sometimes was rough because there was too much to be man and a woman. But when we already growing up and we was working, and mama was so good for us, she was preparing everything the best.
Better than mine.
The best she can for us. And I said to my mama, when I was small, remember how he was beating me and when I was done at something wrong, and mama just nearly cried and says, my children, she says, you working so hard day after day, and you expect me to beat you yet for something? You working that hard for your living and mine, because she wasn't able to work all the time. And yeah, there was happy time, and there was sadness too. The sadness thing there was for my brother Peter when he was dysenteric, and then he went and gave himself up, and he have to be there for 2 years just like any other. And when he come home, I talk about that already.
Yeah, okay.
before.
Well, what I'd like to know, because the battery is going to die on us any moment now. When was your mother born? Do you remember the year? What the year was?
Well, we can count this way. When I left,
29.
29, she was 54.
54. Okay. So her husband died in 23. And when did she remarry?
8 years later.
23 and 31. So after you left.
Yeah.
But she was going with this guy.
Not after, before.
Oh, 20,
It was 29,
Oh,
28.
Okay, so
She
it
get
was
married.
about 5 years later, from 23 to 28. She got okay.
Somewhere there, that
Okay.
maybe.
And so this was an encouragement for you to sort of move on when she was remarrying, because she would move into his house or something.
That's
They
a
wanted her too then,
next
but
village. They make it arrangement that I was supposed to go with
With
my
Mom.
mom, and he promised that he gonna marry me off when the time come. He gonna make the wedding like for his own children. He offered all these things, you know, and he got the son just my age that still was with them, because all children of his was all married and away. And I was too shy to go and live with the strange people there to me, and still the young boy there And I says to my mom that I gonna stay with my brother, with Peter,
The same.
and home.
Their own home.
Yeah. Well, then my sister hear about it.
Was Peter
How
married
did
by
that
this time?
Peter was already married.
Okay.
Yeah.
No children.
There wasn't no children. Well, Genya was later in the years. Genya, that you know.
When you left already.
Yeah, later in years. Mama was writing to me that Peter have such a beautiful blue-eyed daughter, and she is beautiful girl. And when her husband died,
Kitka wanted
Later,
very much to
then
get her brother
she
here.
come back. My mother
Steady.
come back to live with my brother and my sister.
But, you know, Peter, all country, there was something like my father used to talk, to make sure that be the son taken over to carry that name, to not lose that. But and our
That was like
Oh.
a property belonged to name or name
From
belonged to property.
Yeah.
There was that way
Yeah.
situated.
Keep it with the
those
family
years.
name.
yeah,
Yeah.
to keep the family name. So my place went completely, no son was left behind. There were younger boys, Peter Wancher, my brother, he went to be buying the pigs, and he found out that was good business instead of work in the field. So he made this nice money, and he bought it close to this market that was selling all animals and all that one. So when John come home, when he see the way he left me, because I still never have anything, I still was working for that Jew there in Montreal. I go all with you fellows, one way or the other. But Mama don't want this, or she don't want this one. Well, you better know that now. Sure.
You know, those shepherds from England, they play роль таку, що шторик маленький там є, там сходять, and talk about each other, and this walls with the
there you
curtains
are.
on,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah, that's some of
That's
the,
wonderful. That's something
some
for
of
somebody
that,
be left behind.
Okay, Dad.
but I
yeah?
don't know if you watched last night what we watched. It was last night or was it?
What were you
last
watching?
night? Ми мали кобилу, що се називала Нелі, а ця Нелі був шоу.
Uh-huh.
How people was
Cordella,
starting.
that's a horse.
Okay.
How people was starting and a life was very, very interesting.
Uh-huh.
And something they went much worse thing than we did, because the two neighbors wasn't cooperate and stop the water to this neighbor
Using too much.
animal, and then they put their barn on a fire, and oh, that was crazy. They went through really bad life, but for the small barber shop they started, maybe you see before that.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, Ma.
There was
You better come on here because he's talking to that. Yeah,
I'll take a shot of Ma's legs on the steps. There's Ma's
That's
legs.
not the way.
There's one leg. See the one leg in the slippers? Good. That's Ma. And this is Papa. Okay, Papa. Ma's bashful today because she's got the
Well, that's Mama.
What do you call that? First on the head. Verstukken, what?
Well,
Verstena?
I
Verstena?
wash it and I put the colors on. When I go out somewhere, I don't want to look
Right.
like.
Yeah, but you can
So I
do that way
I
you
do
are.
that. I do that when I.
So,
So what I want to hear from you, Dad,
okay.
as I said, we know a lot of songs from the Ukraine bring back memories, and we know a few songs, but you know a lot more.
I did, for the song, I didn't know much. Mama can read like from the book.
Uh-huh.
Me, I was like we would say, help of the group, but I wasn't try to be leader, you know. But if you are good, like Mama is, then you take a lead, and follow, the other fellow help you,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to sing one and the other, and you really do proper way. I was not trying to be leader on a song, just to be the like I say, boss. You know.
You were part of the choir,
Right,
yeah.
So I was always with them, but I waiting to not tangle the leader.
Mm-hmm.
You have to lead and we help them. So that was wonderful life for the young people in our country. The same in Canada. But when the first time I arrived to Canada, when I went to, I was lost, like you see, poor fellow, didn't know nobody. So I have a good friend in the same room where we live. We're gonna go to picnic. I come to picnic. I look at those girls, compare, they was at home dressed up, you know, Horbutka, the difference Ukrainian way
Right.
they look like, oh, perfect. Now, our girls, that was Ukrainian dance on the, outside the Montreal, but they dancing, dresses don't fit them, look like a wet dress, you know. They never built to that yet. I look at that one, I don't gonna go dance.
тебе був дав зробив такий як appointment, and we could look a little bit decent,
Oh, sure.
and not that way, I don't mind, but
Oh, I don't mind, Ma. We can do it that way.
this
Next.
way,
Oh,
this
sure,
way,
sure.
Well, he got this one part.
lots of giggle.
Well, you know, no, you know, you're beautiful. You're beautiful to me, no matter what you're wearing. You're.
To you I could be because
Well,
I'm your mother,
That's right.
but to bother people I
But
won't
somebody
do.
gonna look after the mama was like this. So
Oh, I can understand how you
She
feel.
wanted
We don't have to tape it now. We can do it some other time.
In the time that we have to be, maybe some Sunday or something, that would be
she
more-
wanna be, yeah. So with me, on that picnic, and that John was nice fellow, very nice, from Bukovina. And he stayed the same place. And he was a little bit one leg short, so he, but it was sport like him. Now he wanna stay here. I don't like it. I look on those girls, Ukrainian fellow, they don't look like those girls I know at home. They look so wet. You know, the rest doesn't fit right because they're not built to that.
Right.
I said, Johnny, come on home. I can't stay. I'm not gonna dance for no money. So slowly I look at the Canadian девочки.
Uh-huh.
That's something.
No, you don't look Jewish to me.
And I figured, oh, that one, yes. But those one, wet. No. So I got one girl, Mama know about this other, because we was come out the same with the same train to Berlin, but they know that she has little something. They have to check her, so they come to me and says, "Now let's both go to Canada. You going, you going." Now she stuck to me like we was married nearly,
My
because
goodness.
that's from home.
Right.
But she'll be left behind. She come with the second boat. Well, I didn't know what the reason was, because she had to go through the doctors. She was pregnant. She used to work in Tennessee, in the city, nice boys. She was spoiled, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I give her the address of the John place. I said, soon you arrive to Montreal, phone, because I have a phone address, to John, and we come and get you. That she was doing or she wasn't. She went straight to Winnipeg. Her mother had to write, crying, when I was in the family already, because my brother was married with her, and how do you say, Perva Sestra, first
Yeah. A
mother's
cousin.
was
it a cousin or?
Hey.
It's called cousin or something.
just like cousin.
Yeah.
Was, yeah. So this old man, the one that was helping me to guarantee for the money was lending to me. He was from that family, they were Kuchma. They were so glad that could happen. After a while, Mama wrote to John, because Schwager, that's mean Pervi brat, like,
Right.
or brother. Says, Johnny, please do something with me there, because she knew we went the same time from home. I don't hear from her, and here they need money to pay for the. When John heard that one, he come to me and says, you know, her mother crying in the whole country. She want the Betty sent something. Or how she went in Winnipeg working for peanuts maybe. She got no money.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided, John told me, I have already money, I pay my mother already completely, and I have some already too. I was penny peachy, but I sent her tickets. She come in a short time. John here from rumor from same house she was living where I was. I have a room for her. That was my mistake. That somebody say I go to that room and sleep with her there. So,
My goodness.
and he come, says, Nick, I hear that. That's Canada. You watch out. If something come out, then you're in trouble. But Betty, the one in Montreal, she's relate cousins to her.
Uh-huh.
So they was talking there, and I was talking with John separate. After when John already called her wife and gonna go his home, and now we're gonna go to our place. She asked me what he was talking so much about with John. I said, nothing, just, I'm not going to tell her. She says, oh no, she knew everything because the other one told that John against me got married with her. because he knew all about that, what was wrong. She says to me, no, there was something more. I says, no. Or ja se hnívaju, was that mean?
I think so. I find it hard to put in English, but I think I know what it is.
How, well, she don't believe me, and pretty sad.
Yeah.
I says, okay.
Yeah, she's upset about it. Yeah.
I says, take it your way. So that's okay. If you hnívať se, no more visiting you. Soon I stopped that one. The old man see it, was his door right here, his room, and her right here to go to the veranda. There was veranda and a small room, spare one.
Mm-hmm.
She was, but there was no lock, real one. It was little, how you say it?
A latch or
Latch.
just, yeah.
And he notices that one, and he was stay with this lady for years, like married, not married,
Mm-hmm.
just man and a wife, but they was not married. She used to have 2 sons from first husband, real one, but this one was just. He noticed that. Take the knife, opened that, went there. And she thought that one she was saying after to that lady, the one who was living with him,
Mm-hmm.
and done it the job.
Mm-hmm.
And she thought that was me. But when from veranda there was a little light, he used to have his locking zube.
Yeah.
And when she notices, that's gold,
Gold teeth. Yeah.
that's not me. When he turned back to the room, she was here, how the old lady was beating him up on her.
All right.
Poor lady. Figure what the heck she get into it. Why she let have that room for her. Now she's supposed to get the job for her to help her mother. And I was talking to her, Daddy, for 1 year. We're gonna work, and we will do to your mother the same thing. I don't have to mine. Mine is all clear. I got some money already. When you pay all, then we get married after. There was no more chance that way. The old lady wanna that where it was room, bring her to the where's the sewing machine, dressmaking. Brought her there, gonna bring it her because she could get a job. She disappeared. But she must have that address from the shoemaker man that was making brand new shoes. A good one.
Mm-hmm.
She possible have an address, phone him, he come in, pick her up. I lost it. Her lost that $50, finished. Now I feel sad for my money, not for her. I'm not for her, because I noticed she was a different girl. We find after. So that way, she wouldn't do it. So she got that shoemaker, and in a short time, they went and married. And there was a picture on the St. Lawrence Street on the window. Now my cousin was working in a hotel, and his sister, that shoemaker, was working there. She says, you from Bukovina? Yeah. One girl from Bukovina just married to my brother, and he has a wife here. He sent her back. And poor girl, he has one before he kicked her out because he used her for so long after he wanted don't like something. That my cousin come in, he says, you know what? I know where Betty is. His sister told me. When we hear that, Jan go with me, all about it, that she owed me some money. Now we know he is married with her. And he was saying she was choosing me, that I was first one to. So, and then I kick her out. But I will kick disappear herself. So slowly, he said to John, he spoiled her after Zabro. He first met. He could be deported. My brother says, wait a minute. It's not right there. He told him all about you could be deported. You get your wife and you just married.
Interesting.
Now, you're going to pay that $50 or else. When he hears that, he says, how you know if you just come here and go to Canada? Then she repeats, she says, no, that's my brother-in-law. He been in America so many years. Then he married to my cousin. Oh. When he heard that, he says, tell your brother. But I was outside, far away, not close. John went along. Now, he says, tell your brother to come down. I pay him that $50 because if we go farther, he has a wife.
Right.
He'd be deported too.
Right.
He realized. So I come. He says, bring the witness and a receipt.
Right.
Yeah. So John made the receipt for me, and I went, took my cousin, we were there, and she cried, pretend that I really was the first one spoiled her, took her girls, and she come with the money, give me $50, and she says to my cousin, Nufri, you come and see us again, please. But you, Nick, I don't want to see you no more. Africa. Wish you the best what you can get to you, but no way I'm going to say anything as long as I got my money back.
This is just as good as Young and Restless. How old were you, Dad?
I was,
This was about 1930 or something?
that was 1930.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
that would be you'd be 25 years old.
Not quite, I think.
Well, if you were born in 1905 and it's 1930, it'd be 25, yeah.
Well, it'd be that way. Because they were, after 20, the years would start flying so fast.
Okay.
So then,
Okay, you'll have to make about another 2 minutes. I have to go.
so that way, kaput, finish. So Pentesco used to go, because he lost the job in the Abitibi paper mill.
Uh-huh.
He go to our country. And I knew Raifta, you know, she used to be making all those what, she was export of that.
Right.
She was a beautiful girl. I says, Melnichuk, there was another rich man, he see we making somehow good money. He decided to come to Canada. And he went out to Wico. There was some little family that Melnichuk to Wico. Wico sent a ticket, bring him to Ansonville. After when he bring him there, nothing for him because he was too old man already. There was no job for the young fellow. He write to me, Nick, quit that job, baker's shop. You come to Ansonville, there's the girl, you can get married, and you can get the job.
Was Melnichuk writing, or
Melnichuk wrote
was
it
right
to
to you?
me,
Yeah.
my friend.
And he was writing
Neighbor.
about Ma.
Eh?
He was writing about another girl.
Baker's.
Oh, the Baker's.
Baker's oldest girl,
French girl or
Macedonia.
Macedonian? Oh, yeah. Okay.
They nearly talk the same.
Right.
When the Pentesco come, I says, who's there? The Melnichuk wrote, I can get the job and there's some nice girl there. He thinks for a while, he says, I didn't know any girls. I just know Mama,
Right.
you know, Lacusta's sister. I says, no, not bad looking. That's the one first. He says, yeah. I write, I says, well, give me that to John Lacusta, because he was not our neighbor. Mother was like two sisters.
Right.
His mother. Now, he says,
You gotta wind this up in a minute or so, Dad.
yeah, okay, that's finished. Now, he told me, and I took the others, I write to Raifta. I hear you got your sister. I like to have an address from her. I'm going to write to her. She was in Kirk Lake, not in Nansonville. When John heard that one, he was really, it's like a family was already.
Right.
He says to Raifta, send it. They send me the others. I figure, now, how am I going to write? I never see her before. I just write. Answer, okay, answer, nothing to lose. Somehow John make her, what was that? You write to that way. So she wrote it to me, Mom, send me picture, and I sent her picture. Before that one. Hello, yeah. After a while, I says, you got nothing to lose. I got the money. Nothing gonna cost you. Come to Hamilton, to Montreal. Doesn't work. Both to be bombing. She come. I go in the station. I see the people pass, and Mama was the last one. I see in a green coat, well, fair here,
Right.
the last one walking. I figure I can recognize it by the picture. I figured could be that one. But if she go and she's Mama Tvoya, she don't look like me. I can see it. Look that way and I see it there and there. That's too bad I can't do now. She go. So I figured she go where's the waiting room. Now I figured that's not her. She will go right through. But if that's her, she gonna stop. She can go so far, take a bench, sit down. I come. I say, hello. You're English already, not. Mama was much, hardly any. And dreadful things. Which you have somebody waiting for some? Yeah. What's your name? She says, Stefania Halichuk. Oh, she says, come on. She says, wait a minute, because I got big trunk. That trunk still was left in the Burlington there.
Right, the big black trunk, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big trunk. She got pudushke, big one.
Right.
You know, like in the whole country, so we dajes,
Right.
so that mama daje, so much this,
Sure.
so much that one, so much that one. So mama prevezla some
She
big
came
svoje
with it
vino.
just in case.
In case, yeah. Okay, I wait. That's what the guy come in with the trunk. I hired a taxi. Put it in the trunk. There we go.
Okay, Dad.
Now I don't
You,
want-
you got 30 seconds. You
now
finish this up.
Now I don't put it no more in where I live,
Right.
in Jewish place.
Right.
And there was matzah, you know, before Easter.
Yeah,
Them all. You're not allowed to have any bread in the house.
right.
So if I was bringing something to her, I had to hide it because. So Mama was there leaving for so long. She was lonely, and I always was visiting every day. After a while, we decide that be something between us. We're gonna marry. So we found German people, and I still careful. I don't put it in the same Ukrainian people no more. That's mistake. I go with this people. But she has some rumor there. And ta жінка називалася, я забув її перше ім'я, мені все це скоро не приходить. Так як Трейсі ходила з дівчиною тут, приходила, те саме ім'я мала.
Mhm.
Полюбила маму, як не знати що. І рума. А я зуважу, там є some rumor too. I was not very happy. But they like each other. Mama kаже, I liked it. She noticed. So that lady was German. Just like a mother after to us. She helped us to go to get married on Saturday. Take pshenica, siela, old-fashioned way.
Right.
She did, huh? It was very nice, everything. We used to go together to the ball, to the dances. So that was wonderful.
Same one. I want different stories.
Well, give him idea because
Okay, this is-
I'm not
No?
included in any way.
Well, you can be the color commentator, just like on television. What I was thinking of, Dad, like
Yeah.
we have covered a lot of things. We've covered a lot of things about Iroquois Falls. We've covered things about Montreal and whatever, and we've touched a little bit on some of the other places. But I just wanted to get a little better idea about
From
coming down to St. Catharines, how that all came about, and a little bit of our brief life in St. Catharines. I guess we were there about a couple of years.
because we wasn't a couple of years even.
Okay.
I think so, maybe it was a couple of years. How we come to St. Catherine? Because we bought the store in St. Wait a minute, where we bought it? In St. Catherine.
We sold just a baker shop, not the house. And
Completely
went to
sold.
St. Catherine
Right.
to look for something else.
Right?
And then
Was grocery.
we
for
opened the grocery. Well, there was grocery. We managed for a short time. One
Managed-
summer.
One summer, because I still was running on his way, the one the owner was, you know. He has a bill, charge. I see the fellows.
Okay, hold it. Let's before we get no, we'll get onto that. But I was saying, how you? I knew you wanted to get out of the bakery store because you thought it would kill you in Ansonville. Okay, I know that. Now the question is, how did you hear about St. Catherine's, and why did you decide to go down
We
there?
was taking trip to see the south,
Right.
from to see Wico, and Matka was already here
Right.
permanently. And we find out that we want to make a change. So there was looking what I want to be some in a business father, So there was grocery. I figured I know how the grocery to run too. I have idea. So I run for a while. The way they was running, I have a manager. The one was
Okay, yeah, but hold it. Okay, I'm sorry, I've got to still go back. I'm still not sure. You had gone down to St. Catherine's, right?
Yeah.
You were looking for some business, right?
Right.
Wickle was down there, but how did you find out about the business? Was it on one of your trips down?
When first I come down and I bought it, then I went back to Anson.
How did you know about it? Who told?
All the real estate knows
Real
us.
estate.
They was
You had
bringing us along.
Told some Ukrainian, wasn't Sadaway in real estate at the time? No.
Oh, no, that wasn't happening.
Okay, no, Sadaway. Okay, but you had told the real estate people down in St. Catherine's you were looking for some sort of business,
Yeah.
and they sent you the information up north, right?
Oh.
No. Okay.
We was in the baker shops.
We sold the baker shop and we was looking for something really to change, like Dan
Okay,
said.
you had sold it, but you were still living. You were helping the baker out, or still living up there?
That was for a while helping
I
the
never
baker
gonna
out.
let him.
Yeah.
And then we decided to take a trip south, and we came to Wiconkitka. We stayed there in St. Catherine for 1 week, I think, and we put a girl to sell the bread in our. I went wrong.
No, because already the baker
No,
was
it's
taken
sold.
over. Yeah.
The
But you-
first time that wasn't sold. When we really liked the South, that
find
just
something.
like our home where we come from.
Right.
So we liked the South, and this sale went maybe that even summer and the fall. That this fella come in and he asked for the baker shop he want to buy. So
He asked me the first, you talk about he asked me, Monsieur Godet, you not tired from that work? I was so wear out.
Yeah. Well, I know the story, and I know that he
Just
gave you
a
one
point.
offer, and then you upped it about 5,000 or something. We know that. Yeah, I know. We know that.
продал,
Yeah.
поменял 5,000.
А я не казав, от говорить.
Він сказав по правді, сказав мені.
Right.
А я кажу, за 5,000 доларів я від це не уступаю. That's all.
Okay.
Потім тато послухав мене і поїхали до Тименсу одної суботи. І подивилися, як там пропорти пішли, бо ми не знали, як пропорти
Yeah,
йдуть.
Yeah, so you got an idea what the values were.
What
of
the
the-
value was.
Yeah.
And then тато сказав, що він прийшов знову, тато каже, well, я лише
За
5,000 сказав, але це
Just for business.
лише for business, бо то є мука, то є машини, то є, вже все було в порядку.
I say, I do the house too now, that's 10,000. That's double what I
Okay.
give.
Yeah, okay. I'm not that interested in that. We got that before. So the point was you did sell it to him and you did help him out in the changeover.
I'm never gonna leave it. Mama used to.
I don't want to hear that argument. I don't want to, I know that one. I got that already down. I want to okay, so you sold the place. You started helping him out a little bit. It was the summer of 48, was it? Did you go down to St. Catherine's in that summer of 48 because you were now had a little
I don't
time?
know that was 48 or.
Well, I think it's got a. Oh no, 46 because It was 48 you came here.
Right.
We stay with Kitka for about a month.
In the
And-
summer, to when you were
and
looking.
the summer,
Before
and
we
the
got
real
out,
estate was coming every day
Uh-huh.
and take us all over the Port Coburn to Toronto to Hamilton to St. Catherine, all over
Because you knew you wanted to move down to southern Ontario.
to Southern Ontario.
Right.
So we see all over. We're not really Baker Shop was Port Coburn was desetino ne to što not the
I
thing
wasn't
Yeah.
that
looking
we
for
sold.
Baker
Shop. Right.
We wanted something better,
I want a
not worse.
hotel.
Right, right.
So then, that store was for sale, and he asked so much money for it. His name was
Montefiore.
in St. Catherine.
Well,
Anyways, never mind what his name. He wanted to sell bad, and we give a deposit, and we took over. Except that overtaken, we never been in a grocery business before, and that was the worst time. That time to get the meat to the grocery
But-
because there was those tokens.
Oh, there's a rationing time.
Ration and those tokens that you have so much token that you have can
Allowed
get
only to
so
buy
much
so much.
meat.
But you actually sold meat in that store. It wasn't
Oh,
just
yeah.
a variety store. It
Everything.
was the regular
was
grocery
everything.
store. Okay.
There was everything. So then when we learn to get so much tokens, to get more meat, so we running for one summer, I think. Well, that was just about 1.5 year. Anyways, we are running, and then we get annoyed with those coupons. We don't like that
Right.
put on the
coupons that
coupon
have
with
to
the
be
customer
tea,
on the credit.
Oh, the credit. You were just
tea
becoming
and
yeah.
sugar
cash and
and meat.
So there was a lot of things on tokens
This
on
is,
ration.
was everything on the coupons.
Oh.
And there was annoying us those coupons. If we don't collect it enough, we can get enough things
In
the store.
Right, right.
Then we put it for sale.
Okay, first off, just
Yeah.
I think I can remember the place a little bit. The store was on the main floor, but our living quarters were upstairs.
Upstairs, yeah.
What was it 2-bedroom or something or up
Oh,
there?
there was a big,
There was good space for all of us.
Okay, you were in
There
one
was.
bedroom. Did all of the three of us were in the other,
yeah.
or
Well,
room,
this
or-
one I
you remember? Can't remember.
could remember exactly.
Okay.
But we came, there was all so nasty, so dirty.
We fixed
So we
fixed up a lot of places.
We did repapering and covering up those holes, you know.
Right.
But we were so proud of that we done it ourselves, you know. And then Wojko's friend, Marianchuk, his name was, he come to visit us, you know, and he was the decorator. And he making fun of our job.
Yeah.
That we didn't put it, you know.
Yes, it wasn't done that well, right? He said,
Yeah, it wasn't
okay.
professional. But anyways, we was happy to cover those holes.
Right.
That was all over, and we were satisfied. Then we have a visitor from Ansonville, Kotsinyuk, and his wife.
big coom, big coom.
Right, right.
Big Kum, you was calling
Sure,
him,
yeah,
Big
Kum,
Kum.
Okay.
And he was with us for a couple of days, just visiting. And he was
was surprised.
curious what we
How can
really make it such a change in our life, because
from
there was
Beckett to
every day he was nearly visit us in Hansonville, you know.
Right.
So we was close. And here, well, we running that for a while, and that we clean it and all that. So Dad decided to
put
put it for sale.
no, I put it first cash and carry because
Uh-huh.
those fellow gonna take it and I have to deliver them. They phone three,
Yeah.
4 times a day.
Yeah,
To deliver little
that's
things.
not important in that.
No, that's important.
But did you do some delivering? Did Peter
Yeah, you
deliver?
boys was delivering, yeah.
Was I old enough to do it, or just
Yeah.
Peter?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
and Peter,
you,
because there was close custom.
Yeah.
But they was annoying you with the
Right, the little stuff.
Then,
box of
figure-
cornflakes to bring him to the
Right.
house.
and
That
then
was terrible.
and then we mark down and to come down to pay me the bills, they don't show up. I figure I'm gonna put cash and carry, finish, and quit my that the one was working on the cash register. Because it
Oh,
was
you
cash
you
register.
had somebody working on the cash
Oh, the
register?
girl was
The
Right.
girl that was with the guy
All right.
the one.
that sold us the
Right.
clothes. So we asked him that the girl would wanted to stay with us, but she was the boss. She was ordering us around.
Uh-huh.
She was lending the money
All
to,
right.
to her customers and
Right.
Everything else.
Mrs.
They didn't
Brown.
even ask us.
Right.
And we find out that, and we
So
get right to her.
I just figured that's enough of that. So then I figured, wait a minute. I'm gonna put cash and carry so much lower.
Yeah.
Then I lost all the
We
money
used
was
to have
for
a
the
good
credit.
customer there. So many
I
of
put
them
in the
that they was
collector.
appreciated.
Never was collected.
Come and
Okay, but you were in the business not that long, about a year and a half or so.
About a year.
just about
Yeah.
here.
No.
Just about
Okay.
here.
And at this time, just for interest sake,
Yeah.
oh, hold it, just for interest sake, Peter was going to school. Was he going to Maywood or Alexandra? Do you remember?
Maywood to Alexandra.
Because I went to Maywood.
Yeah,
For,
to Alexandra.
he went to the bigger school.
Yeah.
The bigger school because he was so
Older,
many grade already.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Ted was still too young.
Oh, still was
Teddy
just
was-
a
yeah.
2-3-year-old.
Little baby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
When we sold this real estate that was what knowing us from before was taking us around,
Right.
he got the customer that he wanted that place, but he wouldn't pay as much as we was asking.
Right.
There was 17,000 that
Right.
time.
And I bought it for 10.
11, I think.
Whatever.
Well, anyways, yeah. And then we see we couldn't make it so fast move. Dad put a couple of thousand down and told that real estate. And he says he was supposed to come from work on the morning.
Uh-huh.
That man that wanted that place, And he says, I'm gonna go and kiss him good night, but I'm gonna tell him that the for that money, I'm gonna tell you that he gonna pay.
Right.
So he come back so happy, and he says, I did it.
Right.
And he was just for a short time, real estate,
Right.
because the other real estate I had before. So he make a deal, and we was happy. But what we gonna do now?
Okay, you still lived upstairs though, so.
Of course, well, there
Did you just sell the business or the whole building?
we sell everything.
Everything. So then
Everything.
you became a renter in the place.
Then wait a minute,
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you. Then
The Barello place.
take us think a little bit. We're gonna go and buy the house.
Oh, right.
We went to Mildred. These people, there was even from the same village as Sadaway. He was builder with his wife. So he has a house, 2 houses for
that's
sale. He showed us one that was much more. We don't want to spend that much because we still look for a business after, some kind of business.
Right.
So we bought for, I think, $5,000. We bought the house in St. Catherine
13
and
Mildred.
13
Yeah, I
Mildred.
think so.
So we moved to that house that was even rightly finished yet.
Okay.
But we took over.
Was Sutaway the real estate agent, or
No,
he was just?
We never knew Sadaway.
Was he living in St. Catharines at that time? Or?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's, I mean,
And he was on the
Sadovay's
Niagara Falls.
countryman that
Ah.
sold us that house.
Right.
That's why I mentioned
okay.
Sadovay.
Right.
So he was builder, and he sold us that place. So we moved to that place, and from that time, Dad went to the went to
McKinnon.
look for some,
McKinnon Industries.
I don't look clear the job. I was working for baker shop after when I sold the baker grocery.
You were in the bakery shop for a little bit?
Right.
Yeah,
National
for sure,
Bakery?
For sure,
Right.
I'm National
One
Bakery.
right here.
Yeah.
We have a.
You have one, but you were at the one in St. Catharines.
And one there. So I worked for so long, and after a while they say the business was kind of slow, and they're gonna give me quit me for a while if we're gonna need to go back. I went for fun to McKinnon's in the office, asking for a job. He give me the job. Working on in the steel company already, you know.
That's right.
Jeez. I got a job. Now I know how the steel company, how the steel company now, new one. So they give me a good job out there. And a shaker. Yeah, I don't think you know in my factory.
Well, I was in Dofasco,
The shaker.
but the shaker, I don't know.
The one that go through the
You got a long strip of hot steel,
right.
and it shakes off the slag or the impurities, or what?
Or that's go there, and after pouring on the
Big kettle,
what they want to make it
right?
tires or and not tires, but I mean
Rims,
frame or
Yeah.
so. Let's go sand around and form like that. Then they come up to the shaker. They put me in a shaker, and the shaker shake that pieces clean go.
Mm-hmm.
Steel where it have to go, and that's one go down to the
Yeah, where they clean up after it, all the impurity stuff.
and they pay higher on the shaker and the one do and the other one.
Right?
And after a while I got the pay. Worker says, "Geez, I don't make that much money on paper mill.
Mm-hmm.
You make quite a bit more." I says, "Well, I got that job, so I work until I decide."
You were still looking for other things, and
Yeah,
and
still
that's where you're
looking.
in Hamilton, right?
And so then that one Sadoway was in charge in this building. He was a real estate.
So how did he know? Well, he knew of you because of the connection with 13 Mildred. That was one of his.
No, he know us because of the Lacustas.
Oh, right. Okay.
See,
Yeah.
in the Crayamia.
Right.
You
So
know,
that way
and he was in Niagara Falls that
he wanted
time,
me a
have a
partner with him
hotel.
too.
Right.
Go to hotel with
Right.
him.
And that's how he wanted us to his partnership to buy a hotel,
Another hotel.
another hotel.
Sadoway and me.
He was
I said,
after us
No.
about that hotel.
Yeah.
So we wasn't ready for that hotel. And he says, well, there's some good property in Hamilton that I could introduce you to. And that's where we went all over the place except this one in Burlington. We thought that would be more right because we can renting the upstairs. We could renting that store that was still on a lease. That Jack was occupied the drugstore, but there was leased with the small
Mortgage.
rent.
Right.
So when the lease end, then they look for better places, Jack or even people from upstairs.
No. Jack was only pay $40 a month, you know.
Uh-huh.
For 10 years he has a lease.
Right.
Now,
But the
I
lease was
can't
ended.
touch it
All right.
until the lease finish. Soon lease finish, I double up,
Oh yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
80 instead of 40. He figured that's too much. So his business wasn't go good because I used to sell.
Okay, but we're going to get into the Hamilton business
That
later.
one, that
We're
one,
having- let's finish this business. So you had been at McKinnon's and you worked there. You found out about the Hamilton thing, but eventually you moved there. Okay, I just want to tidy up a few things about St. Catharines, and then the next time we'll do more about Hamilton and Jack and everything else. Okay, what else can we say about St. Catharines? At that time, was Wick and Kitka still living on John Street or what?
John.
I think
Oh,
They was living in the
John
same place.
Wines. First time they bought the house on a Wines.
That was on Vine, okay.
Yeah, but then they changed it to the one that you know. And well, that one's hard to straighten out.
Okay, but I would like to know a few other things. There's the funny things. I remember a few little things about St. Catharines. I remember about Arnie, who was Peter's friend. And I remember, strangely enough, about a wooden parrot that Peter, I think, had
Oh,
made in the
that's
school.
from Ansonville,
Was
Peter.
that Peter
brought
made-
it. Yeah, that was his project.
He had made that in Ansonville.
And Ansonville. You should talk to Zrobeunevian, but that was good looking, and
Yeah,
he won the prize.
I can remember that parrot. Yeah.
He won the prize. And yeah, and St. Catherine, when people was renting, there's somehow they.
I also remember, and I told you about this before. On one Christmas, we got a little motor car, and somebody sat on it or something. Remember a little car?
There was an Ansonville.
No,
I
no,
bought
no.
you that car.
It was in Ansonville. That was
Yeah.
from. Yeah. But it died in St. Catharines, didn't it?
Well, I don't know if we bring him to St. Catherine because you put them to pieces half an hour later when I brought it in. And there was just 2 pieces. And I says, what have you done?
You wanna
I
fix
fixed
it. You wanna
it.
fix it.
I fixed
I
it in
fixed
I fixed it in St.
Fixed it.
Catharines, huh? Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
I took it apart and that was it.
Yeah.
I thought somebody had fallen on it or something.
You wanna fix it. That's all.
Okay, what are other memories about St. Catharines? This time, Matka was still in Niagara.
Matka was there all
All the time.
the time that we know
Yeah,
her.
Matka was there with
But
Metro.
she was, no, Metro was in Hamilton.
No, not Matka.
But Mike,
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 yeah.
Mike Kachuk.
Yeah, Mike Kachuk.
So Mike Kachuk was from my village, is the same as Matka, the same name even with Matka because
The
she was
neighbors
Kachuk.
was the
Oh, that's Kachuk,
She
married
was
Kachuk.
made
She didn't have to change her name.
Kachuk, yeah. So that we have a friends with Matka and Mike, and we have a friends in Toro. There was Haras and another Haras's Kum and ours Kum.
Well, there was a
forget
metro.
already.
It wasn't that. There was a metro. Who was the Tanasco?
Tanasco was Misilchan
Yeah.
from Zelenyu. Tanasco was he when he was growing up, he was live on the same улица, the
Right.
same street, just farther away. But he married the older girl, you would
Yeah.
say, in next door to my sister,
in all country.
and cross the Prut.
Right.
The other side of the Prut where Dari come from,
Yeah.
There I got my stepsister was there, and he was married to the older girl that she belonged to her home, and he went there because he
We're gonna have.
has one brother that would occupy the home where his mother was living, and he went on her home, marry her. But she was older, and she was kind of anyways. Tanasco, he was a nice-looking fella, and she married him for a while. Then he decided to go to Canada to make a little money, to make something of himself, as
Right.
every one man wanted to do that, you see?
Our country.
Not only to be on her home and that. And that time, there was not the right time. There was hard there, and he told us the life that she gave him a chicken to sell. I don't know why I should talk about that.
This is good. Go.
To go to Chernivtsi and sell the chicken.
Right.
You see, and he was carrying that chicken from Kichka to Chernivtsi.
Right.
And that chicken was all, you know, splashed down.
Splashed up,
That,
yeah.
And then he couldn't sell for the money that Paraska tell him to get for that chicken.
Right.
You know, this is
Yes.
the
His
story
wife.
too.
Right.
Interesting. So he was on a way back from Chernivtsi with that chicken,
Right.
and his hands were so tired that he took that chicken by the legs and just threw them under the bridge.
Right.
You know, when you get out of
Yeah.
Chernivtsi. So he come home and he have to tell Paraska something about that chicken because she waiting for that
Could sell it.
money.
That's right.
You
That
know?
must have been a good story you told her.
Yeah.
What was the story you
So
told
the
her?
story, I wouldn't go to that story. But anyways, they argue one thing and another, and there was he wasn't comfortable to
Well,
live, you know, there. So he came
To Canada.
to Toro and he got the job there. Well, that's how.
But he was
But
never
I
married.
knew
He was
him.
never married here.
No.
Yeah, he was
Oh.
living with the
Oh,
woman.
well, right.
Yeah. And then his wife write to me that maybe Tanasco left some money she wanted
When he died.
me
Uh-huh.
to go and, you know,
Right.
around it and send it
Right.
to her. Well, I didn't answer her because I know the story. So he was a neighbor to my sister in Klokichka, where Dari come from. So when I came to visit to Kitka and he come, the Teddy was small, I still was put the diapers in a line at Kitka's place, and he came and he says hello and that. So it took me a little while because there was years since we see each other. And he took us everywhere. Tanasco has a car, and he took us to Niagara Falls, and he took us to places, and he loved Peter because he was only the kid was talk Ukrainian,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And yeah, from that time on, we was friends as from home. She know us, and we know
Peter
them.
hardly get out from
And
the carriage.
Metro and Tanasco, and there was.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about these various people we know some other time
This-
because I want a
yeah.
story about each. But I just want to just finish up.
Oh, you could cut it out.
Yeah, oh no, this
things
is
that
this
you-
is good. But we'll take the people separately. Some of, but I just want to tidy up a few things about St. Catherine's.
Okay.
One thing I want to tidy about St. Catherine's, Dad, and I know I asked you this before. Why were you chasing Peter and me around the house with a lacrosse stick?
There was something done by him that he need little spank for that.
But you don't remember what it was.
No, I don't remember that one.
And lacrosse,
And-
he never played lacrosse anywhere except he learned to play in St. Catherine.
Right. Okay.
Now, you were so careful to not touch him. You know, Peter,
Uh huh.
you protected him.
Yeah.
Well, then I had to chase you out and give him what he deserved, to know, to understand.
But
to
you
not
didn't.
do
I
it.
don't know about you catching him. I know you caught me that time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you
what-
took me up to the bed and put me down on the bed, face down, and then I got it with the lacrosse stick. Now I don't know if you ever caught him. You caught me because I hid behind a bush and I was.
Well,
You
that
you
one
you
I-
noticed me right
that
away.
one I
and-
remember.
but I don't think I don't know if you ever caught him. I know I got it in the Straka because of that.
I know you was big protector
Yeah, I know the stories of getting in trouble in Ansonville too, but I don't want that story. I just wanted to know why you were chasing me in St. Catharines, and you don't remember.
Well,
But
And always you remember you was punished, but you didn't remember what is that was for.
I'm sure I was innocent. Okay.
you were so afraid of spank.
Spanking,
Not
you
like
was
Peter.
the-
Peter
Right.
used to be spanked
Peter was
to
a
death.
tougher guy, huh?
Oh, he was anywhere he
Peter
don't
have
have
a
to
more-
be, he's there.
more spanking from both of us than any one of you.
Oh yeah, that's a separate story.
He was, yeah, because he was, you have to be.
Well, that happens with the
stick
oldest
everywhere.
kid a lot of times.
A lot of
They're the
times,
first time.
yeah.
They're the first ones to test
Yeah.
out the rules.
And yet another with us, we're not
You
not
was-
learning yet to be a parents, that to have him do just what you want him to do, and he got his own mind that he wanted to stay there. Doesn't matter what you tell him.
Right. Okay.
And
we'll
that
we'll
was-
go. That's just a good story. We're gonna do one just on that between Peter. Maybe we'll have one. All the trouble Peter got into. That should take at least an hour. Okay. But now let's see. The other thing I remember is that I still remember the picture in front of Mildred on the horse, the pony. Remember?
Yeah.
The 2 or 3 of us are on the pony. I think I got a tooth
just you and
missing, or
Ted.
oh, just me and Ted.
Oh, you fell down then.
Did I? I didn't.
Oh no, he fell down from the horse.
Don't give me that horse story. I know that on. No.
From this one here, he was a small.
No, the pony.
It
Remember
was
that there was a
pony.
little pony stuff.
Yeah. I remember because the picture somewhere I saw.
Oh yeah, that was a good picture.
There was a
Yeah, it was
picture
Ted
from
and I
two
on
of
it.
you. Yeah.
Okay.
Two of you.
And
were-
you fell down while we was laughing. You say you're laughing. You didn't know
Yeah.
how. I'm
Fine.
sorry.
I don't want that story. Forget it. I know that one too well.
You just wanted something that you wanted.
Okay. Let's see. What else can we remember? As I said about St. Catharines, there were certain friends Peter had. Arnie was one of the big friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
he has a lovely friends around in St. Catherine, even in Anson he left.
Yeah.
He usually cry for them.
Right.
You know, he have a lot of friends.
When we'll just end this off in a minute or two. And I was just wondering, do you remember? Oh, Peter's first girlfriend was really in Ansonville. Was it
A
that?
teacher.
Teacher.
Huh?
Teacher.
It was his teacher that he fell in
Oh,
love
he
with.
fell in love with his teacher.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
right.
then it's
That's the first thing that he told me, and she was offer him to. She gonna go to Toronto, and he was going go with her to
Right.
Toronto, and from Toronto to Kitka,
Right.
you know. But then that thing was changed somehow. That we sent him with another fellow.
Who was this teacher anyway? What was her name? You remember?
we got the picture.
Oh, he could tell you. I can't
Yeah.
remember.
We got the
But
picture
after-
right there in our.
But
After
there's also a
that,
picture of him with a girl, a young girl.
that
That was
one I'm gonna
Professor.
tell
Yeah,
you now.
okay.
That's
Mayor.
there was Mayor's daughter. She, her mother was Russian and
Garlic.
the father was French.
Right.
And she was a beautiful girl. His wife was,
Yeah.
that Russian girl. She was just the beautiful one in a group. There was lots of girls in that family. The name was Garlic.
Garlic.
Yeah. So anyways, he came home one day. That was in the first grade.
She married to French fellow.
And he says, I'm going to tell you something can hear that Daddy wouldn't hear. I says, what is that, Peter? He said, I'm going to get married. I says, yeah? You have a girl already? He says, yeah. Who's that? Shalene. Her name was Shalene. I said, well, how would you know that you would want to marry the girl like Shalene? Because she have a tooth just like mine on this side, and she was smile,
Uh-huh.
and I think I'm gonna marry her. So I said,
That
just
was
don't tell
Lafayette.
that to Dad, you know. He keep that secret.
He might think
from
you're
Dad.
too young.
Yeah. So that was his girlfriend, Shalene
Lafayette, I think so.
Lafayette.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was a mayor at that time, her
Yeah,
father.
in New York.
Okay, we'll get into. I think we'll get into more of that some other time. Okay, just go back to St. Catherine's. Any last things we can say about St. Catherine's? We know where you work. We know.
All right.
I was in school.
Soon I finish what the steel company was there.
Right.
What the name was.
McKinnon.
Mechanics. They went on a strike,
Right.
and I was still in charge, you know,
Right.
until that strike was keeping about 3 months.
Right.
They can't settle. They have already property in Hamilton. That's
Yeah.
on the corner store. That's Drugstock was leased, but this one no lease, so I can give notice to get out. You know, there was Yugoslavian or something. And then I says, I'm gonna go to Hamilton, give them notice, and I'm gonna to empty the store, and I go to Red and White store, join.
Right.
How I know, I can't even believe myself. The Red and White, that was National Grocery
Right.
firm. They used to,
Okay, but we're not. That's what we're going to deal with next time. We're going to deal with Hamilton and the grocery years, and
Right.
we'll talk about all the stuff that
so
happened there.
then I joined to Red and White. They sent an engineer to display for self-serve.
Mhm.
I go for self-serve, no more monkey business to charge.
Right.
Cash and carry. They made a nice store. This place was on the center. The people goes around.
So St. Catherine, we just was about 2 years.
And then I have a butcher for start because.
Okay, well, no, now you're going to get into something that we're going to do next time. But that's just the start. You got the self-service, got that island in there, and you had a butcher for the start. We're going to do that all next time. So I think we've done our bit on St. Catherine's. And we,
Well, St. Catherine's was
yeah, it
short.
was a short time.
There was just 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there to Hamilton, that you know the story. You already was a little bigger. You was going to school. You know that when we could move from St. Catherine to apartment because there was occupy. We have to wait until they leave us one
No,
apartment
there was a
empty.
rental
And that's why
control.
we were in the
We
basement
was
for
there
a few
because
months.
we want you to get to school.
Start school at
Start
the beginning of the
school
year.
in the fall.
Right.
And we have to stay there. That's when we
So I have to
get
make a
into
place
those.
down the basement.
And I remember the cockroaches, and I remember that little thing that we had for
I still have
perfuming.
it, that
Yeah,
thing.
I don't want to remember those
Yeah, well,
cockroaches.
that one.
Okay, let's end it on the cockroaches.
That was a great.
And we did it clean
Medicine.
that whole building
Yeah.
from cockroaches. That was spanking
Yeah.
clean. That was nowhere.
Right.
I says to the renter, they says this building has a full of cockroaches. I says if you find one, I give you $1,000. You know, the
Right.
people
We put it
was
there.
looking to
Right.
rent the apartment.
I
After
find
they
out that
left.
when the thing comes
But when we get into the upstairs,
the fly just flying in, fell down.
then,
I wonder what we were doing to ourselves.
well,
And
There wasn't-
you
there
see,
wasn't
I
a-
was taking that.
there wasn't
For years.
affect
Yeah, I
him
know.
too much,
Yeah.
but
That
it was
nothing.
affecting me
Yeah.
too much. I was sick and sick and sick.
Then when I put it downstairs, that cup,
Yeah.
and I put it high,
Yeah. Right.
really high.
Right.
When I come in, that Saturday night was closed for Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't be in the store. When I come into the basement there, they crawl on the basement, all floor covered with them. And they try to run away and kick out, step out.
Yeah.
See?
They were just being affected, ready to die, right?
Right. So what I figure, now, that clean whole building
Right.
because that's air conditioned.
Right. Yeah.
I never touch it. I come Monday to open up already. I go downstairs. They lay there. I put them up. They can't crawl no more.
Right.
I don't touch it. I have to
And
sweep
then we
it.
heat
Yeah.
the water and we sterilized those places,
Yeah.
you know?
Boy,
With the boiling
I
water
think I can remember some of
after
that.
that.
Okay.
Then we was clean.
then the inspector comes and says, you got the pest control because we were supposed to have a
Okay.
pest control.
Make this a minute, Dad.
I say, no, we don't need it. That's when I was saying, give you $1,000 if you find one.
Right.
You go ahead and, so they haven't found anything. So I cleaned that building from the cockroach
Right?
and
From the people.
from the people
And
that
sometimes the people were worse than the cockroaches.
this the one they used to have at that store. They start to cry when they see there was self-service go so good. People coming, they start to crying. Why they let go? Why they never buy that place? Because that
He was
a good
losing
one.
so much, and even his mother said he was losing so much customer that we
Yeah.
kept at the pop and all what he kept.
Yeah. What was the fella's name anyway?
Jack Levin.
Well,
Levine.
that was the drugs.
And the
Drugstore.
drugstore man.
But I was thinking of the person who was running the grocery store, who sold the building.
Oh, that was the name. Yeah, I
Okay.
can't remember.
Don't.
No.
Let's cut it here.